Hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for joining me again. Guess it's moving right along. I think finished up right around Gen Con. Gen Con was where I got into Wadroon as well. It was the Conquest Parabellum, their game Conquest, Last Argument of Kings. Wadroon is Orcs on Dinosaurs, and being that I'm a big Orc player, that's kind of my shtick. Uh, Orcs on Dinosaurs just sold to me, and Courtney, he wanted to get into the game as well, but in a different army. So we got the starter pack with the Wadroon, several boxes of those. He got half the army, I got the other, because they were dirt cheap, freaking Gen Con. But yeah, we just that and the Dominion too. That's what I got there. It was Wadroon and Dominion. It was like I said, it was just dumb. Uh, like I said, I wasn't gonna get into it and got into it. But anyway, they're gonna be my next two tribes anyhow. But yeah, Gen Con was a great time. When we came back, I started seeing the toll that financially was taken on my former employer. Paying for the Airbnbs, paying for the vehicles, paying for this and that. Paid for several meals, and I appreciated that. It was an enjoyable trip. But it's oh yeah, like I said, it was. I was thinking about him wanting me to go on salary, and it was like about that time frame, I finally gave in. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll go on salary. I didn't want to because, like I said, I knew what it meant. It meant more, at least not really more hours because I was still, actually, yeah, it did mean more hours. But managers generally on salary work 60 hours a week, get paid for 40. I know that's how the game works. But anyways, and especially being a new store, we're building it. There's no way I could work, there's no conceivable way I could work 40, 45 hours a week and be effective at my job in the state we were in. But anyways, I took it, and it dropped me down from making anywhere from $800 to $1,100 a week to a steady $550 a week, which sucked because that's a huge pay cut for me. It's like all the raises I made just pretty much just nullified. So what was the point of those raises? But again, it didn't matter. I was just pushing forward because I believed, man. Like I said, I saw what we were doing. We were building the foundation to something. And it's like anybody comes in and talk to me for a significant amount of time, or just even about this subject quickly, is I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. Problem with game stores are run by gamers. Gamers are inherently lethargic and introverted. They're not built for freaking, business. They're not built to build an enterprise. But here, this guy comes along where, he's motivated, go-getter, ready to get out there and build something, and he has a great concept. It's a high-end game store, and he wants to nationalize it. And I'm like, yeah, that's smart. There's no elephants in the room. It's like, what's stopping us from doing any of that? So it was like, I was on board 100%. And it was just like one of those things where it was, other people didn't really see his vision, because he, like I said, he didn't have to sell it to me, but he kept trying to because he was so used to people not believing in his vision, not seeing it, and just saying, nah, man, getting something else, getting something safer. And to me, it's like, yeah, this isn't the safer option, but this is the much more financially lucrative because, like I said, if there's nothing in the way, you have nothing to do but grow. You can grow into the freaking $1 billion company territory, especially in today's market, And I said that's about this town, too. We're in the perfect location for it. This is a nerd town. Huntsville, Alabama is a nerd town. They've been pumping nerds into this town for a few decades now. The problem is they're all ones and zeros nerds. They're not sci-fi and fantasy. They're not tabletop RPG playing nerds like that. They don't deal with minis because most of them don't know that exist. They're into sci-fi and fantasy already through pop culture, through movies and TVs, but they don't know how deep it goes. If they would just, as a community, the game stores would work on answering that question. And that's where the question was born for me, was around this time frame, is how do you convert the ones and zeros nerds into, tabletop RPG, D&D, and card playing TCG nerds. And I finally answered that question. It took me a long time, but I'll get to that towards the end of this when I actually answer it. But it was like I said, during this time frame was kind of where it started in my head because I saw the future in all of this. And I knew how big it could get, but I was fighting against the mentality that the owner had because he was adamant from the beginning, I don't want to collaborate with other stores. Huntsville can only support one store. So he had to kill off all the rest. And that's when, plans began to, see what we can do to kill off all the other stores. one by one if we had to, or however it needed to be done. Again, I didn't like it, but character test, I failed and I followed him, because that's where our recon started. I started reconning other stores for him. Every store in the area I was putting on the map for him, telling them what the store was about, what they had going on, what the competition, basically just garden variety SWOT report for him. And that's how we moved forward from there. As for the building and process itself, it was about time we started putting the slat wall in. That was a painful process, and I hated it. It came in white, so we had to spray paint it black because he didn't like the white, and then we had to cut it, and it was just so flimsy because there was thin parts that were holding together because it's just the way slat wall's made if you ever dealt with it. And then like 8-foot sections, having to line it up, it's unfun. But we started getting all that stuff in there, building out the manager's office as well too. I remember that we had to put a huge 8-foot table in there. That was our workstation table. That was both the photo booth for the art studio when they completed their armies and commissions, and the other side was the packing station. And I had used the closet to keep supplies in for the packing station, and his manager's desk, owner's desk, was on the other side of the wall. This was before it became the Legends Lounge. Now it's another gaming room. But initially, it was before the studio was downstairs, and the studio was upstairs. It's the only place to put the manager's office. So we built that place out as well. And like I said, it was I still got to do a lot of packing and stuff. So even though it was manager duties, I still got to, work half-end for the studio, which I liked because I wanted that connection, because ultimately my goal was to get back in the painter's desk because that's what I wanted to do. I was doing this not because I wanted to, because I knew he needed it. There wasn't anybody else that he had under his employee that can do all the things that I was doing. They didn't have the training. They didn't have the years of experience. I mean, I challenge him to pick anyone else out that can compare to what I was able to do. So it was like, that's what I say, this is part of the things that hurts. It's like seeing how I was exploited for my knowledge and expertise in certain areas. And then, all in all, it was just basically because he couldn't smack me around. If I just stayed a little toady and let him beat me, I would still have a job. But I'd be getting beaten regularly because he can't emotionally regulate. But about this time, too, another, this is a quick thing, and it may seem out of place, but it'll come back later just because of some other stuff that happened. But one of the celebrations we did was to go out to one of the local gentlemen's clubs. Now, being a jarhead, man, I've been to strip clubs across the country. I got a T-shirt that's signed by 100 dancers from bar to bar to bar, going from coast to coast. So I'm not a stranger to these things at all. But again, it's in the past. I'm not looking to go to strip clubs. I'm not looking to do all that. It's just, I don't like loud places either. Like if I go someplace with people, I want to go someplace where we can talk. I like talking. Like getting to know people and stuff like that. And you can't do that in a club. So while we were there, he mentioned this later because he was curious about it. It was like, everybody else was dancing, putting dollar bills, yada, yada. I was just sitting there. And then I started a conversation with the dancer, and we talked for an hour and a half. Didn't pay her a dime or nothing like that. Because, I was just sitting. I wasn't sitting at the, what do you call it? At the stage or anything. I was just sitting at a table in the back. I was just, because like I said, I wasn't there to spend money. I was just there because my friends were there. They could have picked anywhere else. I would have been there. So, I wasn't tipping or anything. I was just sitting there. We just got into a conversation. It wasn't anything. It was like we were just in a bubble in another world. Because she sat down talking to me, and then I just started talking to her, and then that's the thing about me. I don't have a shallow, I do have a shallow end, but I don't play in it. I jump right in the deep end. And this girl was deep end as well, so we got in this real deep conversation. And it took about an hour and a half. And he was just curious about that later, because it's like, he called me Creed. That's what he expected me to be. And I guess here he is seeing me not react that way. It was here I should have been a strip club where I should have been hooting and hollering and being wild. And it wasn't there. That wasn't the thing that would make me want to hoot and holler and be wild, not anymore at least. But like I said, it seems out of pocket at the moment, but this will come back later because it's, again, a lot of this story is about character. I passed and failed different places. But so did he. He did more failing than passing to me. Anyways, I appreciate your time. I don't want to kill any more of it, and I hope you guys have a great day and take care. Thank you.